Hello.
Hiya! What is up,
Hi. How you doing?
salutations? I'm fan freaking tastic. And you?
I'm all right. How you doing? You said fan freaking fantastic, right? Yes, yes.
Yeah, I'm fan freaking tastic. I'm feeling good because I finally got some yard work done that I've been putting off for a while. The times when I was wanted to, get up them leaves and everything, it was like raining and just this weekend was probably like the first weekend that it was like, real sunny outside. So I'm like, hey, might as well get some vitamin D while I'm at it too and get my close to 10,000 steps in.
Mhm.
So
Mhm. Yeah. Well, I was watching. I watched Woman King
how
today,
was it?
and I was pleasantly surprised. It was good. Not that I expected like it to be horrible. I mean, like Viola Davis is, isn't it? But it was a good movie. It was a lot more than I expected.
It's
It was
on
really good.
Netflix now, right? Because I
Yes,
seen
it
somebody
is.
else. Yeah, so I got to get my Netflix back. They've been trying to get me back for a minute. They talk about, oh, come back. We'll let you have it for 6.99 a month. I'm like, I guess they know my pattern and how I deal with these streaming services. I keep it
My
for a
oldest
few.
daughter's paying for it.
Oh, nice.
She's like, "Don't get rid of it. I'll pay you." I was like, "All right." So we still
Oh,
have it.
okay. That's what's up, because I've been
Yeah.
kind of like waiting for them to give me a deal like Hulu and Stars did, for give me a nice deal for like the whole year and stuff. But
Mhm.
they're like, no, you will give it to you 6.99 a month. So they didn't say how long though. I gotta look back at that email. But yeah, that's how I deal with them, these streaming services. Yeah, better
Mhm.
if y'all want me to keep you, you need to be having something on that I'm interested in watching. Because sometimes with like Netflix, I
Netflix
watch
really don't have
whatever.
anything to watch.
Yeah, I'll watch something that I'm interested in, and then it's like after that, I'll be trying to find something else to watch. And I'm like, why am I keeping this? There's nothing else that I want to watch here.
Mhm.
So yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
very good. Got my cooking in, got some my better Crocker ish in today too. So
You Betty Crocker is.
yeah, my Betty Crocker ish made some cornbread from scratch, brownie from scratch, and stuff.
Mhm. Those words
Everything's
will
trying
never
to.
come out of my mouth.
It's all good.
From scratch. From scratch. Azima. And from scratch. Not the same.
It's actually very therapeutic and it just tastes so much better than, dealing with store bought or the box stuff.
I bet it
Less
does.
yeah, less of them endocrine system disrupting hormones and ingredients and stuff. So.
Mhm. I feel you.
Yeah, next
I'm
step.
at a point where I just
May.
don't eat that stuff, but sometimes you gotta have it.
Yeah. Yeah, next step I will be medicating them. That's gonna be fun.
Oh, really? That should be
Oh yeah,
interesting.
I will be medicating them, so that's gonna be not real nice. I made a long time ago. I did make a medicated dulce de leche cheesecake.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and it was something else. Like I'll just say this: three people that had no business eating them ate them, and I gave it to their parents, and their parents forgot that I said that they medicated, and they was like, "I wonder why my kids went to sleep so early." I was like, "I told you it was
Why they eat it? we got a
medicated."
we got a
Like, did you
message.
forgot I said it was medicated?
Thanks to you, Jovani, they sleep
I mean, there wasn't, like those hyperactive kids that needed sleep, but like, God,
like
I was like,
Oliver.
what? I was like, what do you mean the kids needed?
I'm like, go to bed, Oliver. You need a brownie.
You don't want to give him like a tiny, tiny, tiny little piece. Don't let him have the whole thing. You probably won't wake up like 12 o'clock the next day. Don't do that.
Shit.
Oh man. Oh man. So before we get into like our show topic today, Azima, where can everyone find you?
You can find me at Azima the Only. That's Azima the Only on TikTok and Instagram, and you can find me on YouTube and Facebook as Ozidi Wellness and Fitness. Ozidi Wellness and Fitness. And where can we find you, Jovani?
Yeah, so all platforms, TikTok, Facebook, IG, YouTube, and if I did it say TikTok, I'm saying it again. At Camp Jogofit, that's KampJogofit. Connect with us on all platforms and also connect with us on the Wine Fine Podcast on YouTube so that we could go directly live from there. Our subscribers is growing. Yay!
Yay! Yes. We gained one extra subscriber. So excited.
Oh yeah, hey, everything counts. So we grateful for that.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get
Thank you.
into our Wine Fine podcast episode 18 today, the unsolicited opinions of the Ku Klux Keishas, let's grab this comment real quick.
Jovani, you're speaking to my soul right now.
Yes, Chelsea. I knew that I would be speaking to your soul with that medicated stuff. I'm like, yeah, I was actually playing around with some ideas earlier about doing like a whole spread of medicated stuff, but it's of course going to be for adults only. I think adults deserve that those little pleasures sometime, but of course it has to be at their home
Yes,
because ain't nobody going to want to be driving nowhere after that. Um,
exactly.
People I done seen people make chicken and waffles medicated, some fried chicken medicated, and all that, like teas and lemonades and stuff medicated. And I'm
Can
like,
you
you
can
know
you
what?
can you do a tea? That would be so interesting.
Yeah, of
Oh.
course. Absolutely. You could do anything pretty much. Medicated barbecue sauce.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I know when I had made the medicated dulce de leche cheesecake before. I wasn't expecting it to be like that, but I mean, it was good. It really
Oh,
was.
okay. Okay.
Let's grab it.
That should be interesting because that's more. Isn't that more intricate, more ingredients needed to make a dulce de leche cake, let alone
Not,
add that to it?
not really. It really. I mean, yes and no. I mean, dulce de leche is just mainly caramel. So, and then you could just get
Mm.
some condensed milk to turn into caramel sauce. So,
Oh, so it's me that's overcomplicating it. Okay, gotcha.
yeah. I mean, well, I want to say complicated. You didn't know. I'm
I
saying
don't. I don't know.
that's me, the vessel that will put you on to it. All right. Let's grab
There you
this
go.
comment.
I highly recommend some medicated coconut milk and then freezing them in ice cubes and doing what you please with them after.
Ooh.
Do what you please.
Oh man, that would be real. That would be really, really nice. Like
Mm-hmm.
really nice. And then you could probably like, I don't know. You could probably make some imagine that medicated iced coffee is like, I don't know if that. Well, I think that's a
Coconut
little
milk and
bit
coffee is good
far-fetched.
combination.
Yeah, but just imagine that, like the medicated parts bring you down, but the coffees they bring you up. I don't know if that would be a good thing for the body, but
Conflict
yeah, it'll be a
pulling you.
conflict. So I guess we'll stick to like the ice cubes and probably make like, I don't know, maybe a smoothie, maybe.
Maybe you could put the ice cubes in the tea.
You sure can, but it has to be
Yeah.
like some type of, it has to be
Maybe a
yeah,
black tea or something like that.
maybe
Look
a
at look
black
at.
tea.
I don't even do this stuff, and I'm over here trying to figure out how I can incorporate it in my tea.
Yeah, just make sure it's just one of them days where you're not doing anything.
Okay, good,
Because
good.
I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
one day I ate like so many freaking edible cookies, and who the next day to like 12 in the afternoon, I was still inebriated.
Mhm. Yeah. I remember those days. I remember I don't think my brain needed it, but I felt like the day was in a loop. Like I was watching the TV and it was in a loop. Like the same commercial just kept on coming on. I'm like, yo, what's going on with this TV? So I was like, you know what?
No
I don't know
joke.
if I need this. Yeah.
Yes. Hey, that just goes be, hey, that's when I'm like, you know what? I don't feel like doing nothing today. I just feel like being so under the influence, and I'm gonna
Mhm.
eat three instead of a half of one.
Okay.
Don't do that, kids.
No.
Don't do that. I do that because I have experience in it. But
Mhm.
yeah, man, we got to get
Qualified.
into this. This whole
Yeah.
this colorism. We definitely we definitely hear about this. I don't. Honestly, I heard colorism stuff from melanated people more than any other group.
Yes.
Um, I know
Actually,
when
I used to work with a Indian woman and she experienced it too. So it it happens
it's
outside
all
of
yeah.
the black culture.
Yeah, yeah, it does. It happened. It definitely happens. Because India, that's a very good example of a country to bring up because
Hmm.
they still kind of believe in that caste system as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of the people that they show on TV over there is more the fair skin Indians and everything. You rarely see the real heavily tawny melanated ones. So,
Hmm.
they definitely experience it, but it's definitely an all everywhere thing. It's definitely experienced in Spanish culture. I know we spoke before, I even put it in one of my TikTok videos where in kindergarten, that was my first dose of colorism. I looked at
Yeah.
my kindergarten picture years later. I was like, "Oh shoot, I was the darkest one in the class, and I'm not that melanated, so
Hmm.
but I was still the darkest one in the class. So according to this Puerto Rican man I knew for a long time ago, he was like, yeah, he was like, I used to be in love with a girl that was your color. um Basically that you can still see the indigenous blood in my color. Well, you still see the indigenous influence in my color.
Hmm.
But the family, of course, was like, "Oh no, she too dark." So even though not really, so, but that just goes to show the the brainwashing that happens all around.
Yeah.
So we're dealing with our topic today: the unsolicited opinions of the Ku Klux Klan Keishas. I really love the internet for coming up with that because it is just so creative.
Yeah.
So we're dealing with they talking about Jonathan Majors, right? Talking about he has a
Yeah.
slave face. He looks like a cigarette. I actually find him highly attractive. Like,
I think he's
so
cute.
not that, we're gonna get into all of that, but just the fact of the things that they're saying in that.
Hmm.
If you did see the video that's attached to this today, I'm just only gonna play like a clip of it. I'm not gonna play the whole thing because it is a lengthy video. But if you do want to see it, you're more than welcome to. I'll also, when we upload it to YouTube, I'll also attach the video there as well for a reference because we definitely gotta, just get into this whole thing. It is just getting ridiculous. But let me go ahead and play that real quick. And hold on one second. America for centuries, and the effects of it still remain today. Generally, the conversation goes like this: a dark skinned man or a black man says something, rejects them, doesn't give them attention, calls them names, and it's all because the color of their skin. And it's not just colorism, it's also featureism and texturism, which
essentially refers to how Black women may feel that they are judged or they are perceived as less attractive because their features and their hair do not align with European aesthetics. These talking points are very, very popular and may continue to remain popular as different Black actors or celebrities or just successful Black men are found to be with non-Black women or light-skinned Black women. It gives women another reason to revisit their personal trauma or their experiences with colorism. We do have Black men out there who do not like Black women in particular. That does exist. However, what is rarely talked about is how Black women themselves engage in colorism. And what we are finding more and more is that not only are Black women also just as guilty as practicing colorism, in some ways they perpetuate it worse. Well, recently, Jonathan Majors did a photo shoot with Ebony Magazine, and while he did have a lot of support and got a lot of positive feedback, y'all, the Ku Klux Keishas were out of control. Y'all should have seen the comments. People saying that he had a civil rights face, others saying that his looks would only pass in slavery, some saying he looked like a slave, like just really.
So yeah, I'm just gonna basically just play that right there. So
Mm-hmm.
let's discuss it. Like, I definitely have additional stories, regarding that.
Well, when you presented this to me, I was just shocked because I was oblivious to not like I knew I've experienced it from my male counterparts, but not I never thought that my fellow Black woman would conclude something like that. So
Oh
when
yeah.
you know what, maybe it's me, maybe I
Oh
don't get out much.
yeah.
I don't
Mm.
talk to people much. I honestly didn't think that. I thought Black women wanted their Black man to be Black, to have Black features, to be, to be a Black man, and to say stuff like that. I'm like, I was like, my word. I started sounding like
Yeah.
my aunt. My word, I can't believe what they just said. How could they say that? I'm still a
Well,
little
here.
shocked. I'm flabbergasted.
Well, I'm
Civil
not.
rights face. Civil rights face.
Here's why I'm not, because
That's crazy.
I actually experienced that, especially living in the South. There not so
From
much
women though?
now, but huh?
From women?
Oh yeah.
Damn.
So, here are my little, examples or on how, reason why I'm not surprised and everything. It's because, especially when I first came down here, or just being around people, I'm not around too many people now, but when I'm around people, I tell you, not a day goes by when I'm not reminded that I'm light skinned, or I don't consider
Mm-hmm.
myself light skinned, but other compared to other people, they do or whatever. So,
Mm-hmm.
there was times before wearing your hair natural became popular and stuff down here. I used to wear
Mm-hmm.
my hair natural, and I was
Yes.
around women that would fail the paper bag test if, they was around back in the days. They would,
Mm-hmm.
call me nappy headed, and I would be pretty if I like straightened my hair. And even I heard it's from some guys too. So I'm not going to say that, it was totally the women. I heard it more so from the women, which is a
Mm-hmm.
shame, but it is what it is. That's why I'm not shocked at this, because I've heard it myself. It's ridiculous. Even like another example of somebody that will always bring up the fact that I'm light skinned. This is before that, I don't feel this way now, but the last time they said that to me, my one phrase that I said to them, I'm more African than you. And I never heard light skin
A
come out
peep
their
come.
mouth again.
Uh-huh.
So, but of course, I know that, I don't feel the same way about us coming from Africa, but that's going to be that's another subject.
Yeah, that is a
But
different subject.
yeah, uh, it
I mean,
it's
I've
ridiculous.
people say stuff to me, in reference to me not looking Nigerian,
Like,
but
what does that look like?
I don't
You
know.
know?
So I mean, if that's it, that shit went over my head. I really, I don't know. I have an issue with paying attention to what people, caring about what people say, but that would be something that I think people would say that would count, right? That would count, right? Somebody saying I don't look Nigerian.
I'm like, oh,
And
so you're thinking that I should look like the image that they show on TV. They could say the same thing about me. Um,
yeah.
oh, you don't look Puerto Rican. Like, well, what does a Puerto Rican look like? Have you been to Puerto Rico? Have you seen all the people, the spectrum of people that are living there in Puerto Rico? Obviously not, because you wouldn't have said that, you know?
Mhm. Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
think people
whatever
forget.
idea they have in their head, they just spew it out, and then I don't know if they regret it, but they sure look like a fool.
Oh yeah, I think just people forget that there's, nationality is one thing, but they forget that there's people from all walks of life, all colors of the spectrum in every country.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
places you wouldn't think that had heavily melanated people have them, you know?
Well, that's I think in the Philippines they're dealing with that as well, colorism. Same thing
Oh
in
yeah.
Korea,
Oh
you
yeah.
know. So, yeah,
Russian,
it's
right?
it's
I remember, what was that?
that is true.
Remember,
Yeah, there's Russian
matter of fact,
Muslims up there.
you remember, I don't know if I only watched it a couple times, but Ray J's show, when he had his like stupid love show, whatever,
I'm
there
going to
was a
say
chick,
no.
but okay, well, there was a chick on there who was Russian and she was melanated, heavily melanated, but she
Oh,
had the
cool.
Russian accent. So it was like,
Mhm.
wow, that just goes to show, hey, we are everywhere. It's just that you mainly
Exactly.
see the more fair skinned people on
They
TV.
they
You know,
put out
that's
what they want to promote. Yeah.
right. So, and try to make other people feel bad. But
Mhm.
let's get back to this. Let's really just unpack this whole. Um, and I did a little research. So, Jonathan Majors born in Dallas, Texas. So, when him being from Dallas, Texas, tells me that, judging by his features, both of his parents are from here.
Yeah.
And
U.S. citizens.
oh yeah.
Mhm.
And when I think about the Olmec head features, he definitely has the look of the Olmec heads that are found here, the mounds. They're found in Mexico, which they're still is still considered America, just a different part of America.
Mhm.
And if you look at these mounds, I remember looking at this like picture, a side by side with the Olmec mound feature and one of the
Yes.
Louisiana rappers, and it was like no difference.
Yeah, the
It was
indigenous black man
right,
of the Americas.
yeah. So when I
Mhm.
look at Jonathan Majors, that's what I see.
Mhm.
I look at people differently now that I see where these mounds are and see how these mounds look. I'm like, wow, this is what we look like,
Mhm.
you know?
I think
So,
it's pretty cool cuz it's it predates the 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 creation of the United States. It
absolutely.
shows that there's black people in the United States here before anybody else said this is America. And
Yep.
I think it's pretty cool. It's like it's proof. And I
Th-
see when I see him, I just see a man, a strong man. I mean, very strong, healthy man who has really good roots. That's
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
see, and I'm like, why are we bashing the genes? Isn't that what we're looking for? The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Like that's the epitome of what we've been. I thought we were looking for.
Well, I just think there's just a lot of people that we've experienced. We've been programmed just in this country alone to hate our features. Just think about it. Like
Mm-hmm.
before, I remember I had blonde hair, blue eyed Barbie dolls because around that time they didn't have the brown dolls. I didn't have a brown doll till like I was about not 8, 9. I think it
Girl,
was I had a brown PJ Sparkles at that age. But before that, you know, I used to have a blonde hair, blue eyed Barbie doll. And I hate to say this, but I'll just say it as an example. And even one of my friends, we had a conversation like when we were still little girls about this. But we used to put towels on our head and say, "Hey, this is my beautiful long blonde hair."
my mom
And it is not.
refused to buy a blonde haired, blue eyed doll for me. She'll buy an Asian doll, which she has, before she bought a blue eyed, blonde haired doll.
Well, I mean, the upside is at least that's available now. That wasn't available back in the early '80s and everything, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah. You just had to go out there. I think my mom went searching.
yeah, and then just not only that,
Hmm.
um, it it man, it's just ridiculous. Then just well, let me think. So the Olmec heads here, they predate 1200 to 400 BC. So they definitely
Hmm.
been around a long, long time.
Yeah.
And I think a lot more of us, you know, I wish more of us got to see this, to hear this narrative, because we just, along with like those old cartoons when they we have the blackface and everything. I used to just watch them and just be like, wow, like, have them dancing with the big lips, the real dark
Hmm.
skin, and just making a mockery of us. And people just been programmed to hate that. Straightened our hair with chemicals.
I mean, that was that time period. Literally, was the agenda to fear that. What was the name of that movie that they made during that time period? The Birth of a Nation, right? Where they
Uh
were
huh.
showing how life would be if the slaves were freed and blah blah this and that. And so it's and it was that movie was like worldwide popular all around the world, like in different countries and Asia and stuff like that. So it's an idea that was impressed upon the world. It's not, you know what I mean? So it's not like
Yeah, because I mean,
it was that was the plan. That the goal was to scare people into fearing the being black, looking black, um, being around black people. That was the agenda, you
yeah,
know. And I forgot there was a black director that put out movies created to change that narrative. And wow, I can't remember his name, but there was a black director that put out movies to change the
oh,
narrative of
Spike Lee.
the birth of a nation. No, this is like early 19 1928, 1930s. You know,
Definitely got to
so
check it out.
yeah,
I know.
look it up. I'm like, it's like all really fuzzy in my head, but I know because of that movie, there was a black director that had to change the narrative on how people portrayed black people, and it's still something that I feel like black directors are doing to this day, is trying to change the narrative. I mean, it wasn't really good during the 90s. We had all these gangster movies and stuff like that, which kind of didn't help, but
Again, it's just the same thing. That
yeah.
a lot of the stuff, foolishness is coming out now about how like the record labels, they'll push the gangster rap or push the drug rap, the Molly rap and everything,
The mumble
because it's
rap.
an agenda. The mumble rap, the prison rap, it's all to get, keep people down and, you know, destructive. So, and then not only that, we also got the people that use the cake soap. You now know what the cake soap is to lighten up your skin. We see a lot of it in Africa right now, a lot of it in Jamaica, a lot of
Yeah.
it in India as well. Even in like Asia, they'll even get surgery to make themselves look more European over there. And that just
Mm-hmm.
takes, I just love our, uniqueness as people to be able to, look different. If you have a Asian woman that gets that surgery, she looks so odd after that. Like it just doesn't look right, you know? When she
I guess
tries,
it's just because it wasn't meant to be, and you're
yeah, it
forcing it. It's
gets
like those
surgery
women with
to,
the big asses with the really thin thighs.
oh
It's
God, the ant
clearly
booties.
something. Yeah, it's not. It's clearly not matching for a reason. It just wasn't meant to be, and
Yeah.
to force it just changes your whole identity. You don't look like anything right. You just look
Yeah,
wrong.
look at Sammy Sosa, He used to be
Mm-hmm.
he was a very heavily melanated Dominican, and each time he was lightening his skin, I remember I had a picture of him where it compared him side by side to the Neapolitan ice cream, the chocolate, the pink, and then the white, the vanilla. He looked every color of that, as he was going through that process. And Jamaican artist, dancehall artist, Vibes Cartel, um, he did that whole cake soap too, and it just, again, it looks so odd. Like it's like the melanin underneath wants to fight to come back, but then it's like you have him like just killing the top layers of his skin with that bleach soap, with that cake soap. But it's like the
Mm-hmm.
fingertips will still be, his fingers will still be brown skin, dark skin, and everything, but it just looks really odd. It
Yeah.
just didn't seem like it was just meant to be, to have those full lips. He has Olmec features,
Mm-hmm.
the wide
Yeah.
nose, the full lips, and then for you to try to attempt to lighten your skin, it just looks crazy.
Yeah.
It looks
Yeah.
really crazy, and it's just sad. So
Mm-hmm.
that's
It's
what we think.
interesting. I was trying to look for those ladies that said those comments, and in reference to him looking like what did she say? He has a civil rights face,
Yes,
and it was very hard to find. I don't know if they like closed their page or something like that, but that's a lot of women saying crazy stuff about a black man and how he looks. I just
and I
think that's
think
bananas.
another thing, what I've seen, you know, a lot of times when women deal with men from another race, they definitely take on his mannerisms, if that makes sense. Like I could use an example. Like let's just take Caucasian chicks that mess with black guys. Then all of a sudden they start talking, what quote unquote, let's just say ghetto, what they say. They don't talk. They talk a different way. I even
Mm-hmm.
think about the time when this YouTuber that I used to follow. Well, I never really used to follow him. I used to look at his videos or whatever. But he used to talk about this girl he knew from Compton. I haven't really came across too many girls from Compton, California, but she was dealing with a guy from England, and she dealing with him, and then all of a sudden she starts talking with like a British accent. That just goes to show that a woman takes on the mannerisms of the man that she is dealing with. There's a term
Mm-hmm.
for that. It's called genetic kissing. So like,
Genetic kissing.
yeah, so like when you're dealing with these Ku Klux Klan Keishas, you know, they're probably taking on the mannerisms of their racist counterparts, because there's plenty of I wish I was looking for the videos too. A lot of them be dealing with racist white guys and everything, and it's just weird. Like, and maybe they're spewing out, what their man really feels, and yeah, and they're just like a broken record.
I don't know. You sure it's just not like severe insecurity about their own blackness or
It
their own
is.
features?
It is.
'Cause-
It's a I think it's a combination of all. I
Because
just
I'm
find it
like,
sad.
if that woman's with a man that is white and he doesn't like black people, then she already didn't like herself to be around somebody that hates her just as much. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
It's like being with a man that he ain't gonna be with you because you're overweight, and he's always talking about overweight women, and you happen to be overweight, but you're with him, and so therefore you are disgusted by seeing women who look just like you, who are overweight or have weight,
It
have a
happens.
gut, you know.
It
So.
happens. But I mean, and I'll just say this disclaimer: I have no problem with anybody who decides they want to be with somebody who's not a part of their race. My issue comes in is when you go ahead and bash your race. Like you can
Mhm.
still be attracted to whoever you're attracted to, but there's no need to talk crazy or talk greasy about your race. And I've seen that a lot.
Mhm.
I mean, those the videos right there is a prime example. They said he looks like he has a civil rights face, looks like he'd be slavery and all that. And I'm like, what are y'all talking about? What's wrong with his features? Like, y'all are just self-hating. And,
Yeah. Projecting.
that's probably another thing that kind of ticks me off when people get like rhinoplasties and nose jobs.
Mhm.
Um, because I feel like that's what your nose is. Your nose is what ties you to the indigenous ancestors. You can't ignore
that's
that.
that's exactly why I haven't gotten my deviated septum taken care of.
Yeah,
I was like, I
yeah,
refuse to cut my
yeah. I
nose
think
open to fix that, just
kind of like
because
with thick.
I don't want to end up looking like Michael Jackson.
Well, yeah. I know. I know we spoke about Lala a couple episodes ago. She had got her nose done, and I'm like, why she do
What
that?
for? She was beautiful already.
I was like, dang, a lot of those celebrities do that. I'm like, why they get a nose job? Like, I understand, if it's like really like severely messing up, your ability to breathe, okay, by all means. But I mean, if you're just doing it because somebody in Hollywood suggested that you do it, that's when I have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Just,
I'm over here breathing like a pug just to maintain my structure.
yeah.
Yeah. But that's yeah, it's a little out there to I like I said, I've never encountered a woman, a black woman who had said any of those things about their male counterparts.
Oh, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
it's maybe because you're not in the South, you know.
Yeah.
You don't really hear it too much in New York. I mainly heard everything from the South. When I was in California, I didn't hear too much of that. You
Yeah,
know,
see, that's what I'm talking about. Like you don't
it's just
hear.
the region where
I've
you at.
never heard it anywhere I've ever went. I've been to Detroit, Texas, Chicago, New York. I've been to Georgia. I still haven't heard it. I never heard that stuff. Florida,
You
never heard
you
it.
have to no, you haven't really been around like the locals and everything, like
Oh, okay.
or the self-hating locals. Like it's
Self
ridiculous.
hating
Like
locals.
the self-hating locals. There's a lot of them. So
Hmm.
and it
Yeah,
really
that's
was
bananas.
sad. It
Let
really
let let him come flare his nose around this way. You know how many people will jump on top of that?
I know I would. Like he's perfect. Like
I
he got natural testosterone muscles. You know how like that's there's like no juicing with him. He's not taking any steroids.
how you
I
know?
look at the
How you
structure.
know?
I could tell. I could tell who takes steroids and who doesn't. Like
He don't look like the Rock, right?
no, yeah, The Rock definitely juices. He definitely juices. Yeah, because if you look at his photos when he first started, he still had like that natural look.
Hmm.
Um, he was able to take things, get more edgy, and if you see the difference, you're not gonna
I see the difference. I see the difference. I see it with
see this.
everybody. Even Arnold Schwarzenegger, you can tell there's a
Yeah, but
difference in what they do, what he's been doing.
yeah,
Hmm.
but yeah, Jonathan Majors, that's natural. That's real. That's real testosterone. That's homegrown, and plus he's from Texas too. Everything you don't really see too many puny guys come from Texas.
Not
You
from
know,
Texas.
no,
Everything is big in
they
Texas.
they usually be tall, brolic, stocky. I very rarely see short guys coming out of like Texas or like skinny guys coming out of Texas. Maybe they're there. I just never seen them.
Okay.
That's a pretty big state, but for most part, I seen very tall, very stocky, very brolic, and that's probably because they eat that homegrown food and everything. So
Hmm.
eat that real food.
Yep.
Lift them real weights. They not eating. Their moms wasn't eating McDonald's and stuff when she was pregnant, or eating all that nasty processed food that will block the testosterone and transfer to the baby and give him more narrow shoulders and everything. Like he's homegrown.
Okay.
Oh man! So there was another but I just want to share with you a song that I think about when I hear self hate. You ready to hear that?
Yeah, I remember that song.
So yeah, that's what I hear when I hear all the self hate and everything. Like, when somebody wanna talk about, oh, your hair is nappy, oh, you need to straighten your hair and
Where's
all that
that
stuff.
song from?
School Days.
School Days.
Spike Lee, his School Days song, School Days
Okay,
movie.
I'm gonna be honest. I ain't never seen that movie. Um, because I think you brought it up to me, and I was like, I heard of it, but I never really seen the movie. And what was the concept of that? What was the point of that movie?
So, it took place at a college.
Oh shit! Thought that was a high
And
school.
No, it was college, and it was a big movie on colorism. You had um, one sorority. You know, you you had more of like not really European features, but there was probably only one dark skinned girl that was in part of that sorority that was considered like the lighter, fairer skinned, and then you
Mm-hmm.
had the other spectrum of the girls were up against who were more dark skinned, who didn't straighten their hair and everything. So, and then it was the same thing with the guys. The guys would basically go through the same thing. Lawrence Fishburne was in that movie. He was actually part of the side that, was pro black and everything, and, back to Africa and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And he was up against a guy who would say that, hey, he's like, I'm not African. My parents came from Detroit, Motown, and everything. So
Mm-hmm.
what I do like about that movie, like watching it years later, I was like, oh, I finally understand what he's saying when he was like, my family came from Detroit.
Yeah,
I understood that now. He wasn't trying to,
it's very possible that his family did come from Detroit. That they were
exactly, because
indigenous of that area.
exactly, because then, like I
Yeah.
said, another episode we can definitely probably even get into that, where it's like, is everybody from Africa? Hmm,
Mm,
that's a
good
big
question.
question.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is definitely a good movie to look at for like if you want to see things about colorism,
Mm-hmm.
And I remember even like little girl, like I remember there was a time when I didn't want to like put a relaxer in my hair as a little girl, and somebody my father was with, she was like, "You need a relaxer, young lady,"
My
and
dad was pissed.
yeah, and even like family as well. Like naturally, I used to be attracted to guys that was paper bag, you know.
You did? Oh my god.
Yeah, Yeah, I know. Like I was like very not that now I don't really look at it, you know, whatever. But I mean, there was just a time I'm not was not attracted to light skinned guys, and it wasn't anything to do with. I don't feel like I was programmed that way. I just found them more attractive,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I remember one time where I did kind of like went on like a date with a boyfriend, and he had that had that he was that pretty, that beautiful dark skin look, like nice clear skin, had the red Indian tones in his skin.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna say which family member said this, but they was like, "Oh, you sure she's not dealing with him? Because she's light skin and he's dark skin." I don't know why the other family member felt the need to tell the other family member how he looked or whatever, but you know,
Like
it
stating
was.
the obvious.
Yeah, just stating the obvious. It is what it was. And,
Mm-hmm.
because I know
Yeah.
that's not going to be the first thing to come out my mouth talking about, oh, he's such and such. You just
Mm-hmm.
say, he's melanated. This is our people. Like, why wouldn't,
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So me on the other, I've always gravitated towards a dark skinned man,
Mm.
uh, bald dark skinned man, but that's not who I ended up with. So, like, so mine has hair and he's light skinned.
Yeah.
But it's it still worked. It's not like he just have to enjoy the black man. Period. You know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
think there
I
was a
think
point where I
it
just
was
said,
like an idea in my head. So.
I think with me, I always said, I said to myself one day, I was like, look, just, it's not a concern for me whether you like fair skin, caramel, or
Mhm.
dark skin. What matters to me is that you have brown nipples because that means that you're a part of the culture.
You got brown nipples.
Yeah, just have brown nipples because what melanated person have pink nipples? Yeah,
Look at now. Yeah, brown nipples.
yeah, just going for brown nipples. That's all.
I'm like, pull up your shirt. Let me see. Oh, okay, good.
Let's see, brown nipples, okay. But on the flip side, no, I really can't go hardly with that because um, Indians who we spoke about earlier, from
Mhm.
India,
Yeah.
there's a lot of them. They're heavily melanated too, but they're considered the brown Caucasians.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I guess it
yeah.
depends on who's hanging out with them to conclude that. Yeah.
Yeah, it depends. It depends what part of the caste system that they're in, if they
Mhm.
believe in that. Because there's some that don't believe in that, but the majority of them that do believe in that be over here, and yeah, some of them be jerks. I know
Mhm.
when I used
No,
to work.
yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I know when I used to work in a restaurant, I would have rather waited on a ghetto ass high maintenance family who gave me $5 than to get 15% from them from Indians because they
Oh, okay.
still they'll still look at you as beneath them if you serving them. So
Mhm.
who wants to deal with that? So yeah, that's how
There's a
they
lot of
think.
people still that conclude that. I was just talking to
No,
somebody who
but what
works in
from
the.
them it's worse. Trust me, like it's a whole nother ball game when dealing with them.
Mm. Well, that is culture, though, right? If that's their culture,
Yeah,
that is just this the conclusion they come to, I guess. You
yeah,
know, with the caste system, because I know in like in Nigerian culture, you know, nobody wants to be in that position of being a waitress. Like I don't know, they just I don't think they see. It's just it's a position where they look down on in the first place. You
yeah,
know, so it's like when you're dealing with people who their goal is to be better than their when you come across somebody who's not in the position they deem as a good position, they're gonna look down on you regardless. You know, yeah. But I work with somebody. I spoke with somebody that works in the weight, that industry, and basically they basically stated that there's just different types of people who, or cultures that don't tip people. And he
Yeah,
mentioned, like, he mentioned
Italy,
yeah, some certain cultures
Italy,
don't
yeah.
tip. And he was like, I'm not trying to, like, it's just like a thing you notice. You don't get money from this person, like you wait them and everything, and they just don't give you anything. And then there's a group of people who give you stuff, like he said, white people, they tip. It's like in the culture, their culture, to tip.
Right. But it's also, ties back to, slavery too. So that's why they tip.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole tipping thing is rooted from that. Yes,
Yeah,
the
it
whole
is rooted
story
from that.
behind tipping. Yes,
Right.
that's bananas. All this stuff that roots back to
Yeah.
racism, and it just
Colorism.
keeps on, colorism. It just keeps on going back. No matter how much you try to walk away from it and say, "Oh, that has nothing to do," blah blah blah. This is just my type, and then, like, no, that's you're probably thinking this way because of what you were taught from
I
the
remember,
past.
I wish I could find that interview, but I remember hearing an interview where this melanated woman was talking about, of course, she was with a white guy, and she was just like, "Oh, I just love it so much when, we do like the slave play and the race play and everything." And I just was like, ugh, I bet that's disgusting. I mean, for me,
I
I feel
don't.
like it's disgusting. I wouldn't. I was like, yeah, he just be calling me the N word. I know he's like, playing around with it, but it turns me on, and she tries to sound like a valley girl and everything, and I'm just like, ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so yeah, I
What?
think I'm
But
not gonna say
don't
all,
people
but I
fetish?
know
They
there's,
they date for those fetishes. Like, literally,
yeah,
that's the whole point of them being together, is because they're trying to fulfill a fetish. Not that um they really like or dislike each other, but it's that fetish of, like she says, she likes being treated like a slave, and he likes to use the N word, and she's the only one that lets me use that word, and he's the only one that whips me.
yeah. There
So
used to
they're
be
only
this
together for that reason.
Asian guy I used to follow on YouTube, but his his page kept getting banned and everything because he was really telling the truth as far as like when you have like a white father and an Asian mother. Now their self-hate is ridiculous. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's really crazy. Like the mothers will tell the Asian daughters like, "Oh, you need to make sure you get you a white guy and stuff." And
Mm-hmm.
but when you're dealing with that, the um the white father usually treats the daughters better than the son, especially if he looks more like Asian than Caucasian. And he
Mm-hmm.
used to talk about his father like a dog. He would say that his father was gay, and the only reason why his father was with his mother is because he was fulfilling a fetish and all that. And it was hilarious. I was mad they got rid of his page because I used to get a lot of good laughs out of it. But there was people that would get offended by it. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people get don't know how to handle the truth. So
Well, I mean, he's speaking his truth. It's not like he was insulting anybody else
yeah,
but his parents, right? You know.
he was going by his experiences. He was like his dad never really loved his mom. She just dealt with him, or she just wanted
Mm-hmm.
lighter babies and stuff to look more European. And it's
Mm.
sad. It's really, really
Yeah.
sad. So it's not just our culture, it's definitely an around the world thing, which is
Mm-hmm.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
it's it's just that, today we're, dealing with these Ku Klux Klan Keishas,
Mm-hmm.
So
But you know what they always say? What's in the darkness shall come to light. And I feel like I don't know if they made those comments because they thought they were being funny, but it really did bring an attention to those type of women. And
Yeah.
you I like maybe a year or 2 year ago, there was a black man that was complaining about what's her name, Tiana Taylor and Ari Lennox, and saying that
Both of
they
them are so
look,
beautiful.
yeah, they're gorgeous, gorgeous women. I met one of them, but they were complaining about them looking like they compared them to pit bulls, right?
You
And
fucking asshole.
yeah, and I'm just saying, like if if everybody jumped down that man's throat for saying those
Good,
things,
as they should have.
but I feel like these women who are saying these things, it's to me, it's just brand new. I never
They-
thought that
But here's the
somebody would
issue.
say that.
Here's the issue, though.
So it really took me
People,
by surprise.
the people will jump down a man's throat and cancel him for saying that, but nobody wants to call out the melanated women and say that.
I Like I
The
said, I can't
freaking
even find them. I tried to
yeah.
find at least
There's a
two out
big
of the three, but I'm sure there was more that said these horrible
because they be
things,
getting
but
they be
you
getting
can't
a
find
lot of
them.
backlash, but
Mm-hmm.
they don't get their channels don't get canceled like if a black guy was doing that.
Yeah, because one of them was like a blue star. Like they had, you're high enough with the subscriber or follow count that you have a blue star, and I'm just like, this person still, after saying that, I think she's the one that said that he has a civil rights face, and I'm just like, wow, she still exists.
Yeah, they
That's
don't.
crazy.
They listen when it comes to down talking the original melanated Aboriginal man. People don't get canceled. I mean,
Mm.
like, but if
Well,
it's the
you
other
know.
way around, if he's saying some craziness, then it's like, oh, you can't say that or da 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 da. So no, you can. It's not a double standard here. Everybody.
Hmm.
If you're gonna be like that, everybody needs to get canceled.
Yeah.
It's one thing, if you're not attracted to a certain type of person, you don't have to, don't focus on them. Focus on what you're attracted to. If you're truly attracted to these Caucasian, these pink eggplant guys, by all means, enjoy. But if
Yeah.
that's what you like, that leads me to believe that you don't really that you're just with that out of hate or feeling like you were did wrong by black guys in the past. Like you need to deal with that
Hmm.
trauma
Yeah.
instead of thinking the grass is greener on the other side. Because then if you think the grass is greener, that makes you susceptible to that race play stuff and all that ghetto gagging that you be seeing online that they be talking about. So
Yeah.
crazy.
I just they were definitely not thinking first before they said what they said,
No,
and
see that's the thing. Problem with social media, like this is a place where people just think that they could just blurt out everything that comes out their mouth or that's in their head, and hopefully that they'll have some growth in the future to be like, dang, I really can't believe I said that.
yeah, that's kind of fucked up. But
Yeah,
who was I listening? I was just listening to Paul Mooney, and he was talking about uh
that's the power.
if you bring a zebra to Canada, don't make it a Canadian zebra. Like,
Stupid.
I'm like,
I
you could go somewhere. It doesn't change who you are. So you better start appreciating who you are, basically, instead of,
appreciate who you are.
yeah,
Absolutely.
Canadian zebra.
So no more of this. No more of this telling somebody they look like they was in the civil a freedom fighter and the civil rights movement
Yeah, it's
and all
fucked
this
up.
look like they will be working in a plantation and all that. The buck stops here. We need to stop all of that. Not
Yeah.
we don't do that. But I'm talking about the foolish people out there who have platforms that want to talk about
What? This was
people
just
and their
done.
natural
Like
features.
he just did this that was Ebony magazine. It was just done like for February 14th. Like
Yeah.
I honestly, when I saw those pictures, I thought they were going to attack him because he was wearing, pink colors from, feathers and shit, you know.
Well, There
So when I
actually
saw
is.
this, I'm like, what?
No, there
Hey
actually
guys,
is. Is
say what
that
these ladies talking about.
no. There are people that's on the other side of the coin that is talking about he's being buck broken and everything with the pink and everything. That I did see a picture of him that I was like, oh man, why he had to pose like that?
I
But
mean, like that's not even the problem because that's photos. He can do pictures and it'll be different in another magazine and so on and so forth. And I understood the assignment. It was February 14th that all Valentine's Day related, you know. But I'm just like, how we go from that, which is out what I was expecting, to the extreme of going into how his face looked. I'm just like, that's just crazy. Like,
his face
how
is
could you how
attractive.
could you let yourself go that far?
Self hate sums it up. That's all it is.
Yeah,
Self hate. You gotta lead them be.
that's crazy.
But
Yeah,
man, we actually it is 9:01 right now.
yeah.
Definitely got some good conversation going here.
Mm-hmm.
Got to stop that colorism. Ku Klux
Yep.
Keishas. We know we don't care about your opinions and what you think of these handsome melanated men who have their natural features, who are building muscles with natural testosterone. We don't want to hear any of your negativity anymore. If you like being with the Caucasian, be with the Caucasian and love the Caucasian if that's what you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
But but
Yeah.
we promote
Or
the
what
black man
Thumper
in a
said,
positive way.
if you ain't got nothing nice to say, just don't say it at all. That's the way.
Exactly.
I'm like, why you even had to say that? Why we had to go there?
Yeah, people, I don't know.
That's
People just got a lot of evil and hate and
my
animosity in them,
goodness.
and they
I
just
didn't
look
see
at
that
it
coming.
to
That
vent.
shit that really took me. That was a left hook I was not expecting. I wasn't expecting that.
Hey, you may see
I
more of it.
Yeah, I guess
Definitely
the
gonna
year
see
ain't
more of
over
it.
yet.
No, a year is still fresh.
Nope,
Year is still fresh.
just getting started.
Oh
All right.
yeah. So man, so Azima, where can everyone find you?
You can find me at Azima the Only, Azima, the Only, on TikTok and Instagram. And you can find me at Ozidi Wellness and Fitness. That's OZIDI Wellness and Fitness on Facebook and YouTube. And where can we find you, Jovani?
Yeah, so TikTok, Facebook, IG, and YouTube at Camp Jogo Fit. That's KampJogofit. And also go ahead and subscribe to the WineFine Podcast on YouTube. That's WINEFINE. And we'll post the links to our references and where you can see older episodes as well. And I
Yay.
really enjoyed this time. We'll definitely be here same time next week.
Okay. Have a good night.
Have a good
Bye.
night.
Thank you for